Hello everybody. This is for the informational writing. I am going to start back at the beginning in case any of you need one, a refresher, or two, if you're listening and you were absent one of these days. You're going to go back and watch this video. So we're going to start back at the beginning. So we talked about how we have a thesis and a claim, and your thesis and claim, and listen close because a lot of you were confused at what the thesis and claim was and what your thesis would be. It's what are you trying to say about your city. So, for example, Maui, Hawaii, we are trying to say there are many exciting things to do in Maui, Hawaii. And then I'm giving 3 reasons, 3 subtopics. What are those exciting things? If my thesis or claim is for the Jewish citizens forced to live in the Krakow ghetto, life was incredibly difficult, my 3 subtopics are 3 reasons why life was incredibly difficult. Remember, my subtopics have to support my claim or thesis. This is the perfect example of when we just assigned IXL J1 and J2. J1 is all about ordering sentences. So what is more broad? Your thesis or claim is always going to be more broad. Your subtopics support your claim. It's a little bit smaller. And then your details are smaller than that. So on J1, you're going to have to order them, and you're going to practice that. So for example, remember you are going to be choosing a city of your choice, which many of you already have. So what do you want to say about your city? So let's say Mrs. Pashi is doing Chicago. What do I want to say about Chicago? And that's my thesis or claim. Am I saying it's a noisy city? Am I claiming it's a dangerous city? Am I claiming it's a fun city to visit? It's a city full of history. What am I trying to say about Chicago? That's my thesis or claim. So if you are having trouble with your thesis or claim, you are going to ask yourself, what are you saying about your city? So for example, if we did Chicago is a great place to visit, my 3 subtopics are going to be 3 things that make it a great place to visit. If my thesis is Chicago is a dangerous city, I need 3 different reasons why it's a dangerous city. If I did Chicago as a noisy city, I need 3 different subtopics that prove that it's a noisy city. Now remember, we talked about how for our writing, we're choosing a city, and then we're going to take more of the tourist approach, which means that you are going to probably say something about either give me facts and history about the city and say something about it being a historical city, or you're probably going to be telling me about how I should go visit there. So thinking about your subtopics, remember, when we choose our subtopics, they are subtopics. We have to be able to write a full paragraph, like 5 sentences on that subtopic. So make sure that you're not writing details as your subtopic. So think attractions, national or historical landmarks. Is that one thing that draws people to your city? So think Mount Rushmore, Grand Canyon. I do incorporate restaurants or shops, although they are not my favorite subtopics. Please do not put hotels as a subtopic because every city has hotels. Every city has good hotels and bad hotels. And so hotels is not what's going to draw people to your city, okay? If it is, it's probably not the hotel itself. It's probably something that's in the hotel, like a water park, for example. Maybe what draws people to your city is the geographical location. So is it on a lake, river, mountain? I think specifically about Duluth. One of the main things that draws people to Duluth is the beautiful scenery of it being right on Lake Superior. And then one way that we can so for verbiage, like how we state things, is it the home of something? It's the home of this museum. It's the home of this zoo. And that's a great way to state things where it just sounds a little more formal. Many of you are already doing that. All right, so rules for choosing your city. Number 1, it must be in the United States. Must be able to find information online about the city. This is a big one. Remember, this is a research project. Therefore, we must be able to find the information online. It must be able to be researched. Although you can use information from your brain for ideas, ultimately you have to find the information online. So definitely, I highly recommend choosing a little bit larger of a city. The info we have to come from a credible source or an actual website. So for example, and I will talk about this a little bit more later, but a website of that city, a website of that specific attraction, a tourism website that the city puts on. We are not using Wikipedia or TripAdvisor. All right, so first, you are just going to start on paragraph 1. You are letting your research drive your essay. So for example, if you really want to do Elgin, Minnesota, and then you research Elgin, Minnesota, and you're like, Mrs. Pashi, I can't find anything. We're letting our research drive our essay, and then I would say, well, what is your research telling you? It sounds like it's telling you you have to pick a different city. Or maybe, Mrs. Pashi, I can only find 2 subtopics. All right, it sounds like your research might be driving you to either change up your subtopics and rearrange them or choose a different city. Okay, so you're letting your research drive your essay. Once you come up with your 3 subtopics and you know you can write a whole paragraph on each one, you're going to write your thesis. Mrs. Pashi's thesis is going to be, Pepin is a destination everyone should visit. And then I have 3 reasons why. All right, so now you had a little bit of time to work, pick a city, test it out, research, thinking about your thesis, you're letting your research drive your essay, you're finding your 3 subtopics. Once you get to that part, now you are turning your subtopics into topic sentences. Topic sentences that is a sentence at the beginning of a paragraph that tells you what your entire paragraph is going to be about. So notice I have subtopic A, and subtopic A, all I'm doing is changing this and making it into a sentence. Starting with the city. I highly recommend starting with the city. Start your topic sentence with the city. I'm turning unique restaurants in. Pepin has many unique restaurants. That's my topic sentence. I have my subtopic B. I have birthplace of Laura Ingalls Wilder. I just have matches here. Pepin, starting with the city. Pepin is the birthplace of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And then I have beautiful Lake Pepin, matches Pepin. Notice how I'm starting with the city. Pepin is located on beautiful Lake Pepin. Now, if I wanted to, and I wanted to start with the attraction, I totally could. I could say instead, for this last one, I could say beautiful Lake Pepin is located in Pepin. Okay, so I could flip-flop it. So next, you are simply writing your 3 topic sentences. On your outline, you will note we're not going in order. So for example, your topic sentence right here, topic sentence right there is your first topic sentence. That matches that one. And then notice how this one, topic sentence, this one matches that one. And then further down, this one will match the one down here. Okay, so notice how we're simply moving our subtopics. And I say right here, based on subtopic A, based on subtopic B. Okay, so you're just moving them down, putting them into complete sentences, starting with either the city or the attraction. Okay, so now we're talking about credible sources. This is important. Number 1, you want to use credible sources. What does that actually mean? Credible means that I can believe that they are putting out information that is accurate and true. If it ends in .gov or .edu, or .org, we're going to assume it's already a thumbs up. So .gov or edu, or I would say .org, is an automatic thumbs up. If it's a website of that city, so like chicago.com, I would say that's totally fine because it's the city putting it on. If it's a website of that event or attraction, so for example, airinsanity.com, we're going to assume that Air Sanity is giving accurate information about their business. Or it could be a tourism website that the city supports, like choosechicago.com, or many of them might be visitchicago.com. That's a tourism website. The city is trying to persuade you to come to Chicago. We're going to assume that's a credible resource. Things that we are not using, number 1, TripAdvisor. Number 2, Wikipedia. And number 3, any pictures that pop up on Google searches. We can use that for ideas for subtopics, but we are not using the information that it gives us. We need to find a credible source. All right, so now here's the part many of you have been waiting for. We are adding our supporting details. Notice how my supporting details here are not complete sentences. Okay, so Pepin is located on beautiful Lake Pepin. That's my topic sentence. It starts with the city, and then I'm writing my supporting details. What am I going to write underneath that? Now, these are the littlest. So I think about the IXL J1. I have my thesis. That's my big umbrella. Okay, big umbrella. You know Mrs. Pashi, she's a horrible drawer. Then we have subtopic. That's the next little. And then details are the smallest. So J1 is going to have you put these in order. Thesis is big and broad. And this is going to be, these are going to be super specific. J1 is going to ask you to put them in order. So J1 is specifically doing what we're working on here in our essay. All right, moving on. Okay, so next to the supporting details, this is super important for when we go to do in-text citations. And listen up, because this is usually very new for 7th graders. Okay, so we're next to yours, so I have my subtopics here. Next to this, I highly recommend you write where you found this information. So homemade, I found it on homemadecafe.com. And just write the website. Okay, where did I find this? I'm writing it down. Wherever you found the information. If all of these are the same, just write all are the same. Okay, if every single bullet point has a different one, you have to write a different website for each one. Okay, so for example, maybe all of this I found on pepinwisconsin.com. Okay, and all of this is on there. Okay, maybe for this one, I found this on the museum website. Okay, and all of that is the same. That's okay. You need at least one citation per body paragraph. I'll say that again. You need at least one citation, so one location per body paragraph. Although some, so for example, on this one, I'm going to have multiple citations on that one. Each one of these is going to have a different citation. Okay? At least one citation or website per paragraph. All right, so what are you working on today? As of right now, you can complete everything on this except for paragraph 5. Okay, so you are completing all of your body paragraphs. Body paragraphs are paragraph 2, 3, and 4. So when I come back on Monday, you should have this entire sheet filled out. Okay, to the best of your ability. Now, one more thing to note. Notice how Mrs. Pashi on this one, she has 4 things, and on this one, she only has 2. That's okay. On this one, on the top one, you might only have 2. This one, you might have 4. This one, you might have 3. That's okay if you don't use up all of them. Okay? All right, so as of right now, you can work on your entire sheet. All right, making sure our supporting details support our topic sentence, and making sure our topic sentences support our thesis. All right, have a great day and good luck.